Next, we visit the home of humorist James Thurber and learn about his unique take on life in Columbus.
Then book critics Christopher Purdy and Cassie Rose pick their favorite novels of all time.
And we visit a cozy place to kickstart your writing practice. Plus, Charlene talks about local publishing.
Support for Columbus Neighborhoods is provided by
At American Electric Power, we've been proud sponsors of WOSU Public Media for many years and strong supporters of our headquarters city here in Columbus, both downtown and in neighborhoods like yours.
State Auto Insurance Companies, transforming to become a digital provider of auto, home, and business insurance. And for nearly 100 years, committed to the people and neighborhoods of Central Ohio. State Auto. The Columbus Foundation. Smart philanthropy for a smart city. ColumbusFoundation.org. Bailey Cavalieri. Your relationship with your law firm doesn't need to be complicated, it just needs to be right. CODA. Keeps our community moving forward. Falgren Moortime Marketing and Communications. Think wider. Ohio Health focuses on you and your family with a mission to improve the health of our communities. Women in Philanthropy at Ohio State, changing lives by giving together. And by contributions from these and other Columbus area families who support WOSU. Thank you.
This summer, we've asked viewers to vote for their favorite books as part of the Great American Read.
The Great American Read is an invitation to get us all reading again. PBS narrowed down the list to 100 favorite books, and we all got to vote for America's favorite book. Check it out online at the address on the bottom of your screen.
And is there anything better than spending an entire afternoon at the library? I could spend all day here at the Northside Branch, just checking out all the new titles.
Same here. To celebrate the local reading scene, Jeff Darby takes us along to visit the home of one of America's favorite humorists, James Thurber.
Columbus is known for a lot of things, and one of the more interesting is James Thurber, a native son, born here in Columbus, grew up in Columbus, ended up in New York City as an author, a humorist, cartoonist, and we are going to visit his boyhood home. It's been restored as the Midwest Writers Center, and it serves as a museum as well, and it's the setting of a number of his kind of best, most humorous stories. So I think we're going to have a pretty interesting visit today. Hi, Pat.
Hi, Jeff. Welcome to Thurber House.
Thank you.
Come on in.
Definitely a historic house. Your beautiful woodwork with the banister and the spindles.
And all of it is original.
Well, tell me about its history. When was it built?
It was built in 1873, and the Thurbers lived here from 1913 to 1917.
Okay, so the whole family was here just that brief time, just really a
Yes.
4-year period.
Yes, they were renters, so they lived in quite a few different houses, but most of them were on the east side of
Oh,
Columbus.
so they never actually owned the place.
No.
They just rented here. Okay.
Correct.
So Thurber's father worked. He was in public service. He worked for the city of Columbus,
Yes,
isn't that right?
he did work for the mayor at one point in time, and a lot of other elected officials. I can just imagine them gathering in the parlor on a Sunday afternoon and talking about the issues of the day. Isn't it gorgeous?
It really is. It has that Victorian era feel. A lot of natural wood.
Yes.
Big carpet patterns, big wall patterns.
Very
It was sort of the taste of the era.
Absolutely. This would have been just a room where they entertained on a Sunday or something like that. And entertainment, as I understand it, was someone playing the piano or having someone crank up the Victrola.
The Victrola.
Yes.
Well, lots of people are familiar, I think, with James Thurber. But tell me about his relationship to this house, what he was doing when he was here.
Sure. James eventually was an author, a humorist, and a cartoonist. But while he lived in this house, he attended high school at East High School, and then he started attending the Ohio State University.
TOSU.
Yes. He had already found a niche in terms of writing, but he needed a little more life experience before he would really blossom into the writer that he became. James's heart was always in Columbus because a lot of his stories were about how he grew up here, his relatives who were from here, and actually 2 significant stories took place in this house.
And they were?
The Night the Ghost Got In,
Oh, yes.
and The Night the Bed Fell.
Well, those are 2 of my favorites, and I suspect they're based on real experiences.
James did hear footsteps on the night the ghost got in, and was very taken with the idea of ghosts. The rest of his life, he tried to pursue what actually happened in the house and just more about that supernatural.
Well, there must be more to the house. There must be a living room for the family.
Absolutely, come this way. Here we have the living room where the Thurbers would have spent their day-to-day time.
Well, and if I understand, you don't actually have a lot of original Thurber furniture, but it's from the period.
Yes.
That period from 13 to 17, 1913, 17, when they
Yes.
lived here. Okay. Well, it's a nice mantel clock, too, and it's sort of the classic design, but it doesn't seem to be working very well because it's not
No.
1:15.
No, that mantel clock is stopped at 1:15 because that was the time that James heard the footsteps and going around the dining room table.
That's
And
when the ghost got in.
that was the night the ghost got in.
And this light fixture, it looks like it's probably reproduction, but designed after the period, and looks like it was both gas and electric. Is that right?
Absolutely. The electricity at the time they lived here wasn't terribly reliable, so they had both gas lights and electric lights.
So it was sort of the belt and suspenders era. You relied on both.
Yes.
And this would have been where the fixture was that what grandmother was sure the electricity would leak out if you took a bulb
You
out.
bet. You bet.
Such great tales.
Yeah.
And I can't
James-
help but think that they're all based in reality.
Yes, James used his family a lot in his stories and was also able to reflect life in Columbus at the time that he grew up here.
Yes, I remember reading how he recalled the clocks of Columbus,
Yes.
that they sort of rang for him.
He wrote about the 1913 flood.
Oh, right.
The day the dam broke.
Right,
Yes,
right, yeah. When the authorities came around and said the dam has not broken, but everybody thought it was the dam has now broken, and they still ran away.
They all ran. That's it. How about we go upstairs?
Let's have a look. I'd like to see
Sure.
James's room.
Here we have James Thurber's bedroom.
Well, you can sort of feel his presence, can't you? It's
Yeah, there's
fitted
a
out
lot
just
of
as when he
things
was here.
that tell about the man's life.
Well, and I think that includes, I see photos of dogs. That has to include the dogs.
Oh,
The
yes.
Thurber dogs are famous.
Yes.
Tell me about them.
He wrote about Muggs, the dog who bit people, and he wrote about Rex, a very strong dog that would go get anything you would throw for him. James owned over 50 dogs in his lifetime.
no idea.
And in his later years, he was actually raising dogs for show. Then we've got his typewriter from the New Yorker.
That's the actual typewriter used at the New Yorker.
We believe so,
Isn't
yes.
that wonderful? Well, here's James's closet, and I see a lot of writing on the walls. What's that story about?
Ooh, that is so special. Thurber House invites authors to come and talk about their work, and every author who has come has signed James' closet.
Oh, that's wonderful. What a great thing. Well, and that's just part of the story, too. You have artists or writers in residence.
Yes, we do.
But you've also documented the history of saving the house.
Yes.
And sort of the era in Columbus.
We have a museum room at the end of the hall that does have a timeline of his life, and we have first edition copies of his books that have been translated into languages all over the world. The house is open for tours 1 to 4 every single day, except maybe on holiday weekends. And Thurber House was created so that we could continue James's legacy. He believed in humor as a natural resource and that we should cultivate it constantly. And so we offer classes for all ages to hone their creative writing skills.
Thank you so much for giving me the tour and telling me so much. I've learned a lot, and I hope the rest of Columbus will come and do the same.
Oh, I hope so too.
Next, book critics Christopher Purdy and Cassie Rose, and me, pick our favorite novels of all time.
Then the local publishing scene and how small dreams become letter-perfect hits.
So Javier, what's your favorite book?
Well, one of my favorite books is My Side of the Mountain by Gene George, and I read it in elementary school and loved it. It's about a little boy who runs off into the Catskill Mountains to live off the land like in survival mode, lives inside of a tree and hunts and fishes and does all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, wow, you know, when you're little, you love that idea of going and living in the trees, and so it was always one of my favorites.
And you still love it even as an
I
adult?
still love it today because, you know, like we're so connected to technology nowadays. And it's like sometimes I'm like, man, I wish I could just run off in the woods and disconnect from all that stuff, right?
Yeah, it really does sound good. Get
Yeah.
outdoors. Well, WOSU's resident bookworms, Christopher Purdy and Cassie Rose, were up for the challenge to name their favorites, and you might be surprised at their picks.
Hi, I'm Christopher Purdy. I'm host of All Sides Weekend Books, where I talk about books with WOSU's book critic Cassie Rose.
Let's talk about The Great American Read. I'm so excited about this. It's an opportunity for everyone to vote for America's favorite book. What's your favorite book?
And my favorite book, since you asked, is A Confederacy of Dunces by John Kennedy Toole, and here's why. This book is about Ignatius Reilly. It's fiction, and I have never seen a character like Ignatius Reilly who lives for geometry and theology, his loot, and food, preferably hot dogs. It also has a cast of characters in New Orleans that is absolutely quasi-operatic, that has to be read to be believed. And it's about a 400-page book. It won the Pulitzer Prize for fiction after the author's early death, and you will not put this book down, nor will you stop laughing. I've talked enough, Cassie Rose. What's your favorite book?
My favorite book is Humboldt's Gift. I love this book. It's a great story about a Chicago man who becomes a famous writer. And then everything goes south for him. Everything personally goes wrong for him. His ex-wife comes after him, takes him to the cleaners. The Chicago mob comes after him, and he really doesn't know what to do. But then in the end, he receives this wonderful, surprising gift from an old friend, and that changes everything.
The 100 greatest books, but I wasn't sure initially if this was supposed to be the greatest novels or people's favorite novels. And I think it's favorites?
It's favorite
Okay.
novels.
All right.
And that changes everything.
Right.
This list is the favorite books. It's like saying to someone, what is your favorite food? You know, they're not going to say, well, it is peas and green beans and all this healthy stuff for me. They're going to say it's potato chips and it's chocolate cake.
We can only hope, yeah.
Well, but, I mean, that's their favorite. So a book can be their favorite, and it can be the worst written book in the world. It can be the shortest book. It can be the book that never made it onto the bestseller list or did make it on. It's a favorite, so it's very subjective. It's a wide span, a huge wide span from The Count of Monte Cristo to 50 Shades of Grey.
Alice Walker's in there. I was glad to see that. One thing I loved when she herself said about writing The Color Purple, which is little sentences, brilliantly put together. But she said a lot of my readers don't read easily. And so I wrote to accommodate them because I wanted to tell them the story.
And coming-of-age stories made it onto the list. A Tree Grows in Brooklyn.
Catcher in the Rye, of course.
Anne of Green Gables.
James Patterson books are on that list as well, and I think it's because those books cry out to you to read them because they are good reads. They're yarns. Yes. They're good yarns, and there's a lot to be said for that.
Da Vinci Code.
Yeah, Da Vinci Code was, oh yeah, well I couldn't put that down either. I mean, books like that. Ken Follett, whose books are 800 pages, but you don't take 2 months to read them. I love a good storyteller, and I love a good yarn, and I love a book I can just pick up and read for 2 days and really sort of enjoy going where the author is taking me.
I'm Charlene Brown, host of Columbus Neighborhoods, and my favorite book is Devil in a Blue Dress by Walter Mosley. It's about a young World War II veteran who sort of backs into becoming a private investigator. This book is unique because the main character, Easy Rawlins, is African American, and most of the action takes place in the African American community. And because of that, you get some unusual plot twists and developments that you wouldn't otherwise have. I feel connected to this book because I used to live in Los Angeles, so these settings are very familiar. And I also had the pleasure of meeting the author, Walter Mosley. He was a very nice man, really interesting to talk to. We shared stories about Los Angeles and about being in California. He told me a little bit about his writing process, so it was a great conversation. I recommend this book to other people because it's a really good detective novel, and it's a little bit different than some of the others that you might have read.
Need a place to kickstart your writing practice? Charlene visited $2 Radio, a place to get inspired to write, then maybe even publish your work while getting a great cup of coffee.
Tucked away on the south side of Columbus is the $2 Radio headquarters, an independent bookstore, event space, bar, and cafe, serving a plant-based menu, locally brewed coffee, and craft drinks. In this collaborative meeting space, husband and wife team Eric Obanoff and Eliza Wood Obanoff create an inspiring atmosphere to cultivate a passion for literature, all while operating their publishing company in the back. It's the perfect place to meet and talk about the local literary scene with owner Eric and the executive director of Ohioana, David Weaver. Well, first thing I wanted to ask both of you, I'm sure there were some early influences on you. So, who were some of the authors? What were you reading when you were younger that sparked your interest in literature?
For me, and it really is, it isn't a real author. Victor Appleton, who was a conglomeration of many different authors, hired by Edward Strathmere, who also created Carolyn Keene, the writer of the Nancy Drew mysteries, and I loved Tom Swift. So Tom Swift and his Flying Lab, or Tom Swift and his Ultrasonic Cycloplane. And then I also loved reading biographies, which is maybe why I ultimately, wrote a biography myself. I just loved to read bios, as a kid. So I love the Landmark series of books about famous people like Lincoln and Eisenhower, etc. So those are my early literary influences.
And Eric, what about you?
My formative reading years were mostly like in my early 20s. And there was a book, Jonathan Letham's As She Climbed Across the Table, and it's about a woman who falls in love with a black hole. Kind of like B sci-fi plot there. But it's literary, it's really inventive and creative, and I love that.
Who were some of the early authors in Columbus, David?
If you're talking the early part of the 20th century, our first very well-known author was O. Henry, William Sidney Porter, who was kind of like an involuntary Columbusite because he was in the state penitentiary. And he was serving a term for embezzlement, started writing stories, used different pen names various times. He didn't want to use his real name of William Sidney Porter, and ultimately came up with the moniker O. Henry, which actually went from OH from Ohio, penitentiary ENRY. So O. Henry came out of the words Ohio Penitentiary. So, and of course, Gift of the Magi and other things, made him world famous. And later on came another person who actually served a prison term, Chester Himes, one of the great African-American writers, who created the Harlem Detective Stories, Cotton Comes to Harlem, and became a close friend of Langston Hughes and was one of the influential voices, of the Harlem Renaissance. So that's kind of like the early part of the century. And of course, everyone knows James Thurber, our most famous luminary citizen of Columbus. But a lot of people don't know the name Donald Ogden Stewart, who was born 12 days and several blocks away from Thurber and became one of the great Hollywood writers and won the Academy Award for The Philadelphia Story. Unfortunately, his career came to a premature end when he was blacklisted in the Red Scare of the 1940s and 50s, so he ended up moving to Europe and lived there the rest of his life. And then when you go down the line, you see people who came here specifically to Ohio State, like Jerome Lawrence, who later teamed up with Bob Lee and wrote Inherit the Wind and Anti-Mame, and all the way down to the present, where so many young, exciting writers now are living and working here right now.
The Ohioana Library has preserved a lot of this and more. Give me the thumbnail history of the organization and what is your mission?
Well, Ohioana was created by Ohio First Lady Martha Kinney Cooper in 1929, so next year, or 2019, will be our 90th anniversary. And it was because she felt there should be a collection of books in the governor's mansion by Ohio authors or on Ohio subjects. So from that simple concept then, Ohioana was born. And to this day, 90 years later, our mission is to collect, preserve, and celebrate Ohio literature.
Well, and I think that's something Erica's probably familiar with. You deal with a lot of local writers, and many of them young, many of them first-timers. But tell me what else you promote here at the $2 Radio Cafe.
Well, in terms of the press, we actually just most recently published a writer from Columbus, which is the first time we've published a writer from Columbus, and that was Hanif Abdur-Rakib, who we published his essay collection, They Can't Kill Us Until They Kill Us. And so for us to have that sort of like direct interaction with a writer locally, where you're not just sending emails or Skyping or talking on the phone about plans for the book or bringing the book into the world, but able to actually do that in person, was really special. And then in terms of how we went about imagining this space, the store cafe, we were feeling a little detached, I guess, from like the literary community in town, you know, which can happen when a lot of your work is on your laptop or iPad. And so we were definitely wanting more of that social interaction with people to talk about books and literature and what's affecting us in our community and things like that. So that's how the store kind of grew out of there. So we have been pretty fortunate to host a lot of local writers and then also writers who are passing through.
Eric has actually introduced Ohioana to some writers that were not on our radar screen. So that's one of the great things about something like what he does, is because we become aware of writers that we might not otherwise have gotten aware of had it not been the fact that, you know, they appeared here with $2 Radio.
I was wondering too, how have you seen the Columbus literary scene changing?
In the time that I've been in Ohio, which has been since 2005, of course, when I first came, the big thing was, oh, what's going to happen with things like Amazon.com and Kindle and everything nature? You know, the print book will be dead. Mm-hmm. It's not. Mm-hmm. People still love to hold that tactile, you know, object in their hand. People still like to get together and talk about books. I actually heard the person who was the head of Publishers Weekly say one time when he was talking about the effects of technology, and he said, remember, in the end, we're talking about stories and storytelling. Stories and storytelling are ancient. We've always had stories. The medium by which we've delivered stories has changed, but we will always have stories, and we will always need storytellers.
So where are we going as far as literature in this community and nationally, either way?
It's always exciting to find a new voice, a new talent like Hanif. And it doesn't necessarily need to be somebody who writes fiction. I mean, you know, there's a wonderful poet, Ruth Awad, who has been here. So it's always wonderful to see new voices, and that will bring in new readers as well as exciting, you know, people who are already out there reading. And it is wonderful that so many writers are choosing to make Columbus their home and their base of operation. And it's all because of the $2 Radio.
No, I mean, I think a lot of it too is like people like Hanif who are willing to say like, I love Columbus, I want to be in Columbus. And then with like us saying that too, like Columbus is part of who we are, like, you know, putting it on our coffee cups and all that stuff. And I think that there is a real positive energy in Columbus, like positive spirit in Columbus right now, that as people and groups are saying like it's okay to be from flyover country or whatever,
yes,
then there's less of a stigma against coming to Columbus for whatever reason.
Well, it's been wonderful talking to both of you, and I will be seeing both of you again. Thank you for the hospitality.
Thank you.
Thank you, Charlene.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thanks for being with us, and remember, you can catch all our episodes on columbusneighborhoods.org.
Plus, see our stories on the WOSU mobile app, and you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
We'll see you back here next week on Columbus Neighborhoods.
Support for Columbus Neighborhoods is provided by
At American Electric Power, we've been proud sponsors of WOSU Public Media for many years and strong supporters of our headquarters city here in Columbus, both downtown and in neighborhoods like yours.
State Auto Insurance Companies, transforming to become a digital provider of auto, home, and business insurance. And for nearly 100 years, committed to the people and neighborhoods of Central Ohio. State Auto. The Columbus Foundation. Smart philanthropy for a smart city. ColumbusFoundation.org. Bailey Cavalieri. Your relationship with your law firm doesn't need to be complicated, it just needs to be right. CODA keeps our community moving forward. Falgren Moortime Marketing and Communications. Think wider. Ohio Health focuses on you and your family with a mission to improve the health of our communities. Women in Philanthropy at Ohio State, changing lives by giving together. And by contributions from these and other Columbus area families who support WOSU. Thank you.